What up, YouTube? This is Steven, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to talk about Cleon Brown. And some of you may know who he is, or may have heard of him at least, and some of you may not. But basically, Cleon Brown is this, I guess, at this point now, this white passing police officer who very recently found out through a DNA test that he is 18% African, thus 18% black, right? And, you know, he apparently was really proud about this or whatever. And, you know, according to him, right? According to him, you know. And he told some of his co-workers, and typical fashion of KKK, neo-Nazi cave dwellers, cave trolls, they did what they usually do, and that is once they find out you're part black or part something that is not white, right, they will remind you of that. You know, I personally have had that experience as well. And it looks like, I guess, Cleon Brown is getting this experience. Although, you know, I am not claiming Cleon Brown at this point. I don't really know him. He doesn't look very familiar at this point, at this time, until more evidence or more information comes out. You know, I'm just going to classify him as, you know, a culture vulture. All right, he's going to be a culture vulture for now. I'm not going to be claiming Cleon Brown until I get some more information. Maybe if he speaks out on some black issues, you know, put in some work. Let's keep it real. Put in some work. You can't just come out of the blue. You 47 years old. Come out of the blue now that you're black. No, it don't work like that. It's been people who have been black since day one, right? Since the first, before they came out of the womb, right? So no, you can't just jump the line. You gotta wait your ass, get your ass back. All right. So the New York Times posted this article on their website, and I'm going to read through it, and I'm just going to just use this as a way to sort of present more information, as well as give my opinions about the information as well. So let's go through this article right here. But before I do, I just want to give a quick shout out to the YouTube user who reminded me of this story, because I knew about the story before the user reminded me of it, but I kind of, for some reason, I just it slipped my mind. So I want to give a shout out to YouTube user B Money for reminding me about this story. So shout out to you, B Money. All right. So the title of this article is "A Sergeant Who Learned He's Part Black Says He Faced Racist Taunts at Work." Okay, so right off the bat, I'm like, racist taunts? This guy is suing for probably, what, I think $1 million at least, because of racist taunts, while we have black men who have, you know, black men who are getting shot down in the streets by armed police officers, and they're not getting any type of justice, right? So right now, this is part of the reason why I'm, you know, just putting him in the culture vulture category for the time being, because you ain't gonna be using, not on my watch at least, you ain't gonna be using the black identity in the black community for a come up. Because let's say once he get this money, what happens next? He just gonna go right back to being white. White with $1 million, and nothing else about this black stuff, right? All right, so that's the title, and I will say, okay, they're showing this picture of Cleon Brown on one side and his father on the other side, and I'm looking at the picture of his dad, and I'm like, you know, this person kind of looks like they might kind of could be on my side, my dad's side of the family a little bit, because I see a little bit of touch of something, something, you know, a little touch of something, something. But he could probably pass, though, you know. Let me see if I could show you this picture right quick on this phone. All right. See? See? It looks like his dad may have been out in the sun a little bit, and that may have brought out some of that, you know, that Africanness, you know, that African, them beautiful, regal African genes, right? But yeah, his dad does kind of look like, it does, well, let me read this and give my thoughts, right? All right, so, all his life, Cleon Brown, a 47-year-old police sergeant in Hastings, Michigan, had thought he was a white man with some Native American blood. White folks love claiming Native American. I swear. I did a whole video about this too. I'll post it in the description if you're interested in watching it. But basically in the video, I just call out white people who are appropriating Native American and indigenous American culture and bring them, you know, just call them out and just bring them to task. And of course, in the comments section, you have a whole bunch of whiny white people crying and saying that, you know, I'm being racist or whatever. Whatever. It's racist to call out white people on their racism, apparently. But it's not actually racist for a white person to be racist, right? All right. But also his name, Cleon Brown, people have been joking about that name. And it was like, how you ain't know you was part black with a name like Cleon Brown? And that's also another thing. This dude, we have the same last name. I mean, I know Brown is like a really common last name, but I'm like, you know, your father kind of looked like he probably could be part of like somewhere over way back on the other side of my like dad's family somewhere. And then you got Brown. Shoot, I might have to go on the ancestrydna.com because I think they can tell you who you're related to, right? So I hope not. I hope not. I don't want to get caught up in this mess. All right, so let's move on to the next part. A notion came from his father, who had black, curly hair and darker skin. Sergeant Brown's father would tell him and anyone else who asked that his lineage could be traced back to the Blackfeet Nation. Okay, so again, his dad's culture vulture. But to be fair, to keep it real, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. You know, technically, my dad was a culture vulture for at least a second. Okay, he was. According to my mom, like they were hiring. Like my dad went in for this job, and they were hiring, trying to fill positions for this job, and they only had positions open for people with Native American heritage, right? People who, I guess they had like a quota to fill when it came to like Native Americans. So something like the person who was offering the job had said, well, we can maybe put you down as Native American. Like, and he went along with it, right? So to be fair, yeah. But I will also say that he didn't do that throughout the duration of his whole life. You know, that was just one job, you know. But, you know, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'll keep it real. All right. So I guess technically my dad was culture vulture there. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. So Sergeant Brown stuck to that story, right? So his dad told him the Native American story. He stuck with it, obviously because he felt like that was the truth, partly. But whenever people heard his name, Cleon, which he shared with his father, now dead, they would assume that he was a black man. Sorry. He became a little suspicious of his actual heritage when his daughter, now 18, was given a diagnosis at birth for an illness that he said was typically found in African Americans. Some strong African genes. All right. Ever curious about his background, he decided to take a DNA test from Ancestry.com last year. I took one from Ancestry.com too. And if you haven't seen it, I'll post a link of that in the description. But yeah, I took the test and I just go through, all, the DNA, the different types of racial DNA that came up in my test, or my results. All right. So next, the results were surprising. He had 0 Native American blood in him, but was 18% Sub-Saharan African. The Times race/related newsletter recently explored how people's DNA matched with how they identified racially. Many of them were surprised, even upset. All right, so I guess that's a link to another article that I'm not going to get into. Let's just stick with this one. All right. But Sergeant Brown said, "I was so proud of it," in describing the moment that his wife called him at work and told him about the test result. Okay, so according to him, he was proud of it, he was proud to know that, he had a touch of melanin in him, a touch of that African, genetics, those African genetics in him. And this is what he's saying, right? We don't know if this is true or not, but this is what he's saying, right? I know some white people be tripping about that, but whatever, right? They can go on about themselves. Right, the clarity was relieving. He proudly told his colleagues at the police department, he said, but not long after that, his elation turned into misery. See, white folks turn into them beasts. They bring out that cave beast in them. Shoot. You want to bring out the cave beast in the white person? Talk about your blackness. Talk about black issues. Shoot. Heck, wear a black shirt. You want to bring out the cave beast in some white people. All right. Kunta, the Hastings police chief Jeff Pratt, said to Sergeant Brown at the station one day, according to a federal civil rights lawsuit that the sergeant filed last month. All right, so apparently, homeboy Cleon here, got called Kunta, and by a white person, white people whiting as usual. Later, the lawsuit charges some members of the department started whispering Black Lives Matter while pumping their fists as they walked past Sergeant Brown. Even the mayor at the time, Frank Campbell, got in on the racist teasing, Sergeant Brown said, by telling him a joke in which he used the word Negroid at least twice. All right, so again, are we surprised that these KKK, neo-Nazi, cave trolls, mutant mole rats, mutated pig skin folks are acting like this? This is what they do. This is what they do. This is standard white people. The textbook white people. This is what white folk do. At least the racist ones, I guess. But is there really a differentiation between the racist ones and the not racist ones? I don't know. All right. And last December, a fellow sergeant stuffed his Christmas stocking at the station with a black Santa figurine that had 18% written on its beard, according to the complaint. All right, so apparently, okay, so I see, all this is ultimately just microaggression, really. And that is kind of like, when it comes to lighter skinned people, it's like the lighter you are, the more of a racism is more microaggressive. versus the darker you are, the racism is more aggressive physically, you know? And I'm not saying that microaggressions aren't like an issue or aren't worth talking about or worth addressing or don't play into like racism or anything like that. But I'm just bringing that up to just say like sometimes like some light skinned folks be just acting like they go through the worst thing because someone called them a couple of names. Wow, you got like darker skinned folks over here going through way worse things, getting called way worse names, and also having to deal with like violence or the threat of violence, right? And then some of these light skinned folks be all up in their light skinned feelings about this too. I'm like shut up, man. Like you're making the rest of us look just making the whole damn skin tone look bad. Shit. All right. So next, the city disputes the charges, saying that it was Sergeant Brown who started joking about race after receiving the test results. Okay, so they're flipping it on him and saying that no, he started saying racist or racially charged jokes all of a sudden. Okay, you know, and that could be true. I don't know who to believe because we just dealing with a whole bunch of white people, and you know, white folks ain't got the truth of them. Since when? When have white people as a collective have had the truth in them? They've been lying about our history for years. They've been snatching up everyone else's stuff for years and centuries. Like, right? Come on. So we're just dealing with a cold group of liars. We don't know which one's telling the truth. All right. But he insists that he was taunted. Oh, poor guy. Poor guy. He's been taunted. Like, really? You know what the real black men go through on a daily basis in America? You know what let alone historically, but right now even. Discrimination in the legal system, getting trumped up charges against them. Discrimination in the job market, can't provide a family or can't provide for your family. Then you have to turn to other means to provide for your family. Then the police wanting to be super aggressive and hostile and make up reasons to shoot you. Like, come on. If you're gonna be a black man, you better man up. Better, I tell you. That made all the tension between police departments and black communities that Sergeant Brown had seen on the news feel more real and relevant to him than he had ever imagined. Okay, wait a minute. Ain't he a police officer though? So this should be for real, since apparently I'm sure he would claim to be a good police officer, right? I'm sure he wouldn't claim to be a police officer that just engages in, you know, shameful, discriminatory behavior, right? So why all of a sudden that the tension between police departments and the black community all of a sudden is more real and relevant to him when he's a police officer, right? Blue Lives Matter my ass. I'll tell you that. Blue Lives Matter can kiss my black ass. Shit. He was so mad after the chief made the Kunta comment, a reference to the lead character in Alex Haley's Roots, that he stormed out of the station to his car. Oh, I tell you, white folks feel like they just gone through the most horrific things at the just tiny drop of stuff. I mean, I tell you, Cleon, I don't think this black life is for you. I don't think this is for you. You just need to forget about them test results and just drop this lawsuit and continue being white. You know, because I kind of feel like he don't really deserve to be winning no lawsuits over just this. I mean, think about all this, again, like I mentioned, all the stuff that like the real black men go through, right? The real black people, you know, black women too, you know, they go through stuff too, right? I'm like, if he winning the lawsuit, I think that the federal government needs to make a donation to like a few black organizations that really do stuff for the community, at least. The department has 13 officers, Sergeant Brown said, and they're all white, or at least they appear to be. Of the 7,350 residents counted in Hastings, a Grand Rapids suburb in the 2010 census, only 40 residents were black. Okay, so wow, that's like probably like what, 1% or 2% of that population in that town is black. Wow. So this is Sergeant Cleon Brown coming back again, and this is his quote. I just never thought it would be in Hastings saying like racist comments to me. You can't be that ignorant, dude. Dude, you know your people. I know your people, and I ain't even a part of your people, and I know your people. How you don't know your people? You know how they do. You in on the conversations that they have, right? I mean, I guess a quick sidebar, right? My dad, I think on the job, I'm not sure if it was a job that he claimed heritage of Native American or indigenous or not, but on one of his jobs, he was kind of like in a situation where he was with a group of white men, right? And they were basically like, I guess, talking badly about black people, right? And obviously, you know, my dad was offended by it, right? Because, you know, he identifies as black. So he was offended by it. And he had said, you know, basically he black. So he don't appreciate that, right? But they didn't believe him. So ultimately, it's like, you know, these conversations go on. So I'm like, how could you be this ignorant? But then again, you know, he gotta play ignorant for this lawsuit, though, right? He gotta play ignorant. He gotta be like, I'm such a victim. Ooh wee. All right. So he's worked in law enforcement for over 20 years. Let's see. Quote unquote, all the years I've been there, we've never joked about race. I don't know, 20 years you around white people? A whole group of just white people. Y'all ain't never said anything about any racial group? I find that hard to believe. I find that hard to believe. Come on. Keep it real, Cleon. Keep it real. Let's see. Alright, so next. He is seeking at least $500,000 in his lawsuit against several city and police employees, but he said the most members of the department have been supported. He said that most members of the department have been supported. Alright, so I guess apparently, you know, it's like, he's like Black Power, and then they're like, alright, you know, Black Power back. Alright. Sergeant Brown's lawyer, Karen Boylan, said that if officers were making comments like that to one of their own, she shuddered to think about how they were doing their jobs. Oh, snap. So it's looking like they might want to do some expose on this police department now. So if that comes out of it and they do uncover some legitimate stuff, then that would be a good thing. But on the other hand, like, Hastings is only like, there's only like 40 black people in Hastings. So I'm not sure if they, while I'm sure they would be racist or whatever, I'm just not sure if they probably would be able to uncover many instances of that just because the black population is so small, you know. But if they do, that is awesome. That is beautiful when justice is served and a white supremacist gets knocked up out. Alright? That is great. That is a beautiful thing. Alright. So here we go next. What are they doing when they're on the road making decisions as law enforcement officers? His lawyer asked. What factors are guiding their decisions? But the city said it was Sergeant Brown who fueled the banter by joking with his colleagues about the results. In a statement released by its lawyer, uh, Michael S. Morgan. According to the city's department, Sergeant Brown said that he now understood why he likes chicken so much, and that the 18% is all in his pants. Okay. Oh wow. All right. I don't know who lying and who telling the truth here, because this is just a whole group of white folks. So I don't know. I don't know who do I believe? Because this do kind of sound like something that a white person would say, right? You know. So just going straight into the stereotypes. Oh, I like chicken. Oh, I got a big old dick now. That's that's the reason why I'm packing. Come on. All right. And that's like those are the stereotypes too. Like where about I guess the penis stereotype would be considered good, perhaps. But don't we got some other good stereotypes that we can talk about? That don't revolve around BBC. Alright. The city said that Sergeant Brown told the police chief that he was not upset by the Black Santa figurine in his stocking, and that it was put there by his colleague, or by a colleague he was friendly with. Alright. So they're owning up to this part about the Black Santa, or the 18% Black Santa. So I'm starting to maybe kind of sway towards the police department side, perhaps. Sergeant Brown had a long history of making rude comments about black people, the city said. Oh, snap. And y'all still let his ass be a police officer? Y'all ain't shit. Y'all motherfuckers ain't shit. Alright? Because what if he I guess the beach fair, again, the Hastings black population ain't really that big. But still, though, come on. If you're a police officer, then I'm going to expect a bit more from you. Sergeant Brown vehemently, I think that's his thing, vehemently, okay, I can't say that, denied all of the city's accusations, and he said that he was always firmly believed in equal treatment for all. He has always tried to take a race-neutral approach to policing, he said, and this experience has given him a new approach for the effects of racism. He done got called Kunta Kinte and got a black Santa Claus for Christmas, and all of a sudden, I know the struggle. I know the struggle of a black man. I know the struggle of black people. Alright. I feel my eyes are opening now to that. Are open now to that, he said. Sergeant Brown now examines the tensions across the country more critically, he said. He watches plenty of YouTube videos and reads a lot of articles trying to understand why officers make particular decisions in certain cases. Should have been doing this way before now. I mean, haven't we had like a ton of police shootings involving black males, especially black males, but also black females were part of that too. I just want to put that out there because a lot of times when we speak of police brutality, we kind of tend to center around black males, which, are more so the majority, but black females do experience police brutality as well. But yeah, he should have been doing this way before now. Why now? Because you feel like you might be affected by this somehow? Y'all ain't shit. You ain't shit, Cleon. Alright. But he's also doing a lot of personal exploration to figure out exactly what his roots are. Okay. How much did his father really know? Was the story about his Native American heritage just a ruse? I've talked with a lot of family members, and we feel, I don't know this for a fact, we feel because he was born in 1940, he didn't want anyone anybody to know that he was, or he didn't want anybody to know that he had black heritage in him. So I think he just came up with the Blackfoot Indian thing just to sell, or just to kind of sell it to people and hope they believe him. So basically his dad was passing, right? His dad just looked a certain way, and he had the ability, the option to opt out of blackness, which is like definitely a privilege, right? To opt out of blackness, right? Because there were people back then who did opt out of blackness and who did pass and just pass into the white community and just pass themselves off as white and just went on and lived the white life. And there was some other black people, you know, some white passing black people back then who, you know, came toward the blackness and thugged it out with black people, right? So I'll give my props to them, you know. All right, so that's the end of the article. I know that was a bit of a read. My bad. Yeah. So my bad about the long read, right? But I will say this. When it comes to, like, let's say that we, as the community, like the black community, were given reparations, right? There's going to be a whole lot more Cleon Browns coming up if we were actually to get reparations, right? A whole bunch of white people who all of a sudden want to claim that they got their black heritage all of a sudden. Like, oh, I found out I'm part black too. And they're going to try to get some of the reparation money, right? And ain't lived a day in black people's shoes, ain't give a damn about a black issue, ain't even wanting to tweet Black Lives Matter, nothing, right? So I think this is part of the reason why it's sort of important to sort of create kind of like a standard for blackness, right? I mean, we can't just have people coming into the community using it and then leaving, because I feel like this is what Cleon Brown is going to be doing. I feel like he a culture vulture on the low. I mean, he ain't singing or dancing or anything, but I feel like he a culture vulture for some reason. But how do you feel about this story? Do you think, like, are you down for Cleon Brown? You down for him? Like, yeah, brother, you part of us? Are you like, well, you know, stranger danger, you know, culture vulture, right? Right now, I'm on that stranger danger culture vulture tip because, you know, I don't know. I just feel like if you coming out as black, I don't think you need to be asking for money right off the bat. Keep it real. I mean, because black people, you know, who have been black their whole lives, who have gone through way worse than what Cleon Brown went through in this letter and have not received a dime for anything, any type of compensation over that, let alone a reparations, right? What we as a community are owed by this government, right? Not that we're asking for a handout like a lot of people, especially white people, but also some non-white people who want to fit in with white people say that we're doing when we talk about reparations. We're asking you, you know, to pay what you owe. Pay your bill. We ain't asking you to put money into the charity. You know, black charities, we're asking you to pay your bill. But of course, I really don't see that happening. All right. The only way we're going to get reparations is through some type of a bloody revolution, or some type of a revolution, at least. Something. It would have to be something, right? Because it took the United States forever just to apologize for slavery. You think they really want to pay up money for slavery? You think, really? Really? I doubt that. You know, I really, really doubt that. And if it does happen, you're going to have a whole lot of whiny white people, especially. Also some non-white people too. Don't forget, they be playing a part in anti-blackness and white supremacy too. But especially whiny white people feeling like, oh, why do they get that and we don't? Because you know white people always feel entitled to what we have, right? Because historically speaking, they have been entitled to what we have. Everything, historically speaking. Whatever black people have, white people have had access to that. You know, it's very few things that we have access to that is all ours, right? Even with affirmative action, white women have access to that more than we do. You know, so things that are even meant for us, they have access to, right? So, yeah. But I guess to sum it up, bring it back to topic and to close out this video, I don't really, you ain't gonna see me tweeting about no Cleon Brown and support Cleon Brown or anything like that. I don't trust Cleon Brown. He could be totally legit, but I'm erring on the side of caution because we as a community have been got way too many times. And when you get got so many times, then it's just like, damn, how dumb are you? Like, we can't be getting got. So, you know, the Rachel Dolezals and the Cleon Browns, you know, and the all the other culture vultures like your Miley Cyruses, your Justin Biebers, your Robin Thicke, Justin Timberlake, your Katy Perry's, and a whole list of other ones, right? Yeah, they can all go to hell. Shit, all them people can go burn in a ditch, in a fiery ditch, right? But let me bring this video to a close. I could go on, but I went on for long enough, right? So thanks a lot for watching, you guys. Feel free to comment, feel free to subscribe, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Your feedback and your support are extremely appreciated and extremely valued. Into the next video, adios and goodbye for now.